Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Hello and welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 7A, a minisode where we're going to interview David Griffin and talk to him about the upcoming Redstone Rumble in Huntsville, Alabama on October 15th, 2016. Okay, so with us today is David Griffin, and you are the organizer for the Age of Sigmar part of the convention?
Yeah, so the Redstone Rumble is kind of it's a multiple game system kind of convention. So they have 40K and Kings of War and Frostgrave, Bolt Action, War Machine, and we were asked. My brother-in-law and I were asked this year to host the Age of Sigmar portion. So we acquiesced, and we're trying to figure out how to do all of that now.
Oh, awesome! It's your first time doing a convention?
Yeah, well, yeah. So been to some, but this is our first time hosting one.
Oh, outstanding! Jump right in, do a con first time out. I like it.
Absolutely, that's part of it's the Age of Sigmar kind of motto, right? Just jump in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what we all did, right?
Definitely.
So I want to make sure I have all the info right. It's the Redstone Rumble. It's Saturday, October 15th of this year, 2016.
Yep. In about a month.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. I actually work for a part of the government that's headquartered out there in Redstone Arsenal, and I'm just going to try to figure out a way to get out there. I really got to do some work out there.
Hey, do you really? That's really interesting. So I actually grew up in Huntsville.
Oh, yeah?
And so, yes, I know all about actually, my family lives right outside the Arsenal.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
right
I work for a missile defense agency, so.
That makes sense. There's a lot of those. That's awesome.
So how big an event are you looking at having? How many people?
Well, so right now we are still trying to get more signups. So I don't have a hard number right now. We're looking. It's not going to be very large. I'd be happy if it was somewhere around 15. So if we can get 10 to 15 people, I'd be happy. But we have plenty of room for more. So the large events there are 40K and Kings of War, and down here in the Southeast, Kings of War is the most 8th edition players transition to Kings of War instead of Age of Sigmar. We're seeing kind of a conversion back over to Age of Sigmar with the General's Handbook. A lot of 40K players are coming over and expressing a lot of interest. I actually live in Nashville, which is about 2 hours north of Huntsville. But in my local area, we're seeing a pretty large influx of new Age of Sigmar interest, and so we're hoping to kind of round up that interest and get people to come to the event. Right now, we don't really have a set size, but as big as possible, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, our first one was what, 8? Or
yeah, something like
8?
that. I mean, this is a one-day event too,
Yeah.
so our
8.
last one-day event was 12 people. So
yeah, so I mean, that's how you grow them. You just keep doing them until they get out of control.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I think looking at Warlords this past weekend over in the UK, it's just so envious, you know.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, I was up at 3:00 in the morning watching it. So
when you told me that on Sunday, I was like, oh my god, he's up at 3 to watch this.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking like, man, how do we get there? Like, how do we get to that level? And it's by doing these kind of small events and been building a community through events and different things.
Yeah.
And then, that'll warrant larger cons, which would be really fun.
Yeah, and you just got to get the word out and
yeah,
saturate every hobby store for miles around. So
yeah, definitely. It's been pretty interesting. I feel like I've been like a door-to-door salesman for the past month.
Awesome. So I noticed in your handout there that you're doing all General's Handbook.
Yeah, I can kind of walk through some of the pack if that makes sense.
Yeah, please do.
Cool. Yeah. So it's obviously it's 1 day, 3 game. We'll be running 2,000 points with a 1,000-point sideboard. We'll be doing standard army composition through the General's Handbook for match play. With one change, we're going to be doing 2 battle line units instead of 3. I mean, personally, I don't have much against the battle line requirement, but I know after talking to some people in my area, battle line kind of puts some people off because they built armies in certain ways.
Yeah.
Not thinking about battle line, and I hate to make people go and make all these massive changes and buy more models for a one-dayer. And so I figured 2 battle lines still kind of uses the rules with the handbook, but not quite as strong. We'll be using all the allegiance abilities and everything. So before each game, player chooses their allegiance, and they'll choose their battle trait, or they'll get their battle trait and choose their command trait. And then we're changing up how they use the artifacts. And I think we're in this really fun time with Age of Sigmar where you can kind of play with things and change things around with comps. And so this is kind of an experiment that I've played with some and have found pretty entertaining. But before your first game, you roll for an artifact for one hero, regardless of whether you have a battalion or not.
Cool.
And then if you complete a tertiary objective, so we're gonna have, I'll get into this in a second, but we're gonna have your main objective, which is determined by the battle plan, and you'll have a secondary and tertiary objective. If you complete your tertiary objective after each game, you can choose to re-roll your artifact that you rolled in the first game, or you can roll for an additional hero if you have a battalion.
Oh, nice.
So it gives you extra incentive to complete your tertiary objective and kind of kit out your heroes as you want, hopefully. And it's just kind of a different way of doing it. You know, there's a whole debate between rolling and choosing. This is kind of an interesting middle ground. So it's like I said, we're going to have the major, minor victory. We're going to do it on to get tournament points. For a major victory, 12 points for that. For a minor victory, you'll get 9 points, and for a loss, you'll get 6 points. And those will be the battle plans we're doing are Take and Hold, Gifts from the Heavens, and Border Wars. Is that right?
Yeah, the diamond one.
Yeah. And so obviously your major victory and major and minor are determined by the General's Handbook. For the secondary objectives, this is something we did at Adepticon. Did either of y'all go to Adepticon last year?
No, unfortunately not.
You'll need to go this year. It's a lot of fun.
I know.
Well, we'll have to see. I think it's pretty close to LVO, so.
Yeah.
Okay. But so for secondary objectives, the secondary objectives are determined for each alliance before each game, and they are the sudden death rule, the sudden death objectives, except for obviously they don't end the game, but they are the as written in the sudden death. So assassinate, seize ground, and blunt, and then instead of the fourth one, which is basically just have one model alive. Endure. I made up a new one called Infiltrate, which is have one model from your army within 6 inches of the enemy board edge by the end of round 4. So those will be predetermined for your for your Grand Alliance before each game. For your tertiary objectives, and those secondary objectives are worth 6 points. For tertiary objectives, which are worth 3 points, you choose one before each game, and you can't repeat. You can't choose the same one twice. And so these are all unique. So there's Headhunter, which is slay an enemy hero, wizard, priest, or monster with your general. Resilient, your general must be alive at the end of battle round 4 or at the end of the game if the game ends before battle round 4. Lay low the tyrants, which is slay an enemy hero, wizard, priest, or monster with a battle line unit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. And the last one is a destroyer. Choose one friendly unit that is not your general. This unit must kill more points of enemy war scrolls than it's worth. And so if you complete a tertiary objective, then you get to re-roll your artifact in the next game.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of cool.
It's a nice compromise between picking and choosing. I know they were talking about that on the coverage for Warlords. Are you a picker or are you a chooser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only in the way a British guy can say that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think he put it up there, and it was like picker or roll, or picker or roller or something, and like no one knew what it was. Like, I had no idea what he was talking about at first. Some of the house rules, these are pretty common, obviously base to base. If multiple entries for the same unit exist, we use the most up-to-date version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are pretty standard. One that's not as standard is any roll of a 6 to hit or wound is always successful. We're finding that more and more combos are coming out where you can be like -3 to hit.
Yeah. I heard someone mention that on, I think, Healing Hammer this morning. Wayne was saying that with a Morgul and some other Neferata, you could get like up to -3 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, at that point, it's just kind of not fun. You kind of want to always be able to do something, even if it's just a 6. It's always nice to have the option
Yeah,
to do.
just have a chance.
Yeah, and so they thought that was just a good ad. But that's really the only unique house rule, and I'm not even sure if that's unique. I'm sure the other events have done the same. But yeah, I mean that's it as far as our pack goes. We're not requiring painting. Again, we're just trying to build a community here, so if your army's not painted, you obviously won't qualify for the best painted award.
Yeah.
But that's it. We'll be doing best painted, best overall, and best in alliance. So we should have some decent prize support. So it should be fun.
Cool. Got to bring home the hardware.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, that sounds like a really well thought out con you're going to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't take all the credit for it. I definitely lifted from some of the more influential members of our community, and then kind of added in some of the pieces that you heard were our own ideas. But yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think our goal was to make a tournament that we would want to play in, and so I think this is something that I would enjoy. And yeah, I just want to see more people playing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun.
You guys gonna be doing any after hours events or activities or anything like that planned?
Yeah, so we don't have anything official planned. There will be open gaming Friday night and Sunday. So the hall will be open for any kind of extra gaming you'd like to do. I know that some people had asked, why it wasn't a 2-day, and the reason for that was we just don't feel comfortable running a 2-day as our first event. Some people expressed, that it was a little bit difficult to travel for a 1-dayer, and my answer to that would be that you can game to your heart's content on Friday and Sunday. In addition to the tournament.
Anything else?
Trying to think. I already heard this all once on Scorpion Wells, so I was.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering if either of you had listened to that podcast. I found myself on 2 in about a week. It's been really it's been kind of odd.
Yeah, no, I haven't listened to Scrubby and Wells yet.
No,
it's on my list.
I really like it.
Cool.
I really like his style. It's very cerebral and well thought out.
Nice,
so.
nice.
Yeah, it's kind of intimidating being on a podcast with someone who's that much more. He's just a big thinker, and it's really intimidating. But it was great. Tyler's a great guy. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely. So, can you give us some contact information and websites and all that stuff? How to get a hold of you, so people can go to the con?
Absolutely. So, if you'd like to contact me, I am on Twitter at Nash, so Nash of Sigmar, and so Nash as in Nashville. You can also contact me on via email at dwgriff45@gmail.com. So dwgriff45@gmail.com. And all the information is at www.redstone-rumble.com. On there's you can go and shop to look for tickets for various events. Like I said, there are other game systems as well. So if you'd like to do a day of Age of Sigmar and then a Sunday of another event that's just a Sunday, that's possible. And there's also event descriptions for each event as well. There's different drop downs. So everything's located there. The event pack's up there. Yeah. So, and we would absolutely love for anybody to come. I think it's gonna be a good time.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm going to try to get out there just because maybe I can find something to do at headquarters.
Totally. That's really great. That's really funny that you work for Missile Defense. That's really interesting. Yeah. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, it's who knows? Maybe I can make something work in my favor for a change. Well, cool. Is there anything else anybody wants to add?
I'm gonna be actually on Kale and I, so my brother-in-law and I are gonna be on Warhammer Weekly on Wednesday to do exactly what I just did here.
Nice.
So if you'd like to plug in, if you don't watch Warhammer Weekly already, then definitely don't do it because I'm gonna be on it. But Vince Venturella has a great show.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, just check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that one.
Sweet, yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks, Dave. Really appreciate it, and wish you all the best of luck with the con, and I hope everything just goes great for you. Hopefully, we can have you on after the show, and you can tell us how it went.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, I really would like that, to happen.
Oh, no problem.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, thank you very much for having me.